You're listening to episode 57 of Have the Nerve. My name is Susan Wood, and on this podcast, I talk to...
Hi, my name is Nioka Bush. I am 20 years old. I study at Breakthrough in New South Wales, Dubbo. I'm in SLES, which stands for School Leavers Employment Supports. So I'm looking into childcare.
This episode has been created for International Women's Day, celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women around the globe. We emphasise that sharing someone's lived experience is the best way to learn and take action, and this episode is no different. Nioka shares her experiences growing up with her disabilities. We discuss isolation, trying to find connection, and the women who've made the most impact in Nioka's life. Well, thank you very much for being on the podcast. It's very exciting to have you on. Do you want to give a little bit of background as to what your disability is?
So I was born with a disability called Cerebral Palsy hyperplasia, which means the back of your brain, that little tiny space, the cerebellum. Mine is significantly smaller than most people, which controls like balance, coordination, hand movements, and walking. And also emotional regulation sometimes.
And so do you want to go into a little bit more detail as to how that affects you? Like you mentioned balance and everything else, but the emotional component?
For long distances, I cannot walk long distances. I would be completely tired. So I have to use the aid of a wheelchair. But for like short distances and around my house and stuff like that, I use a walker.
So let's get to know who you are. Nioka, who are you as a person? What do you love and what are your hopes and dreams?
God, what I love anything creative. I'm a very creative person. Singing's my number one passion. I do art in my spare time. I love doing art. My dad is really good at art, so I get that from him. I've always wanted to find love and romance, which is kind of a bit cheesy, but a lot of girls don't aspire to that. Like they aspire for jobs and stuff like that, whereas I aspire for that.
So growing up with your disability, what sort of schooling experience did you have?
So school was terrible for me all years. I wasn't the so-called popular one. I didn't have any friends. All I did was sit by myself on a bench every day for break times, reading a book. It's like no one really wanted to get to know me. I don't know if it was because of the disability or what.
Do you think anybody tried to help?
I did have a few friends, acquaintances. I don't think they were actually friends now that I think back on it. But see, with me, I also have autism, stage 2. So I hook onto people who are close to me, if that makes sense. But I zoom onto them a lot. So sometimes it's suffocating for the other person. But for me, all I wanted was that connection. And I never got that from anyone, so...
Tell me more about your experience with autism and that sort of connection piece.
So I didn't know I had autism until I was in year 4. I was diagnosed by my psychologist. Before that, I literally thought something was just wrong with me because I could never do what other kids normally did. And it was even harder because of the physical disability. So I just thought maybe something's wrong with me. This is why I'm not getting friends. This is why I'm having trouble keeping up in class, stuff like that. And it was really quite hard for me. But once I got the diagnosis, I think it was sort of like a relief to know that something is wrong with me. My brain thinks differently to other people. I'm not a bad person because of it.
How is your experience with connecting with people even now that you've left high school? What's that like?
I must say, because I went to Breakthrough, I found a really tight group of people who enjoy my quirkiness and my likes and have the same interests around me in SLES. If I were to interact with other people, for me, when I'm in social situations, it just gets really overwhelming. So I can only handle people one-on-one or in a small group.
I guess There is a lot of evidence for people who are my age, for example. So I'm 41. There's a lot of evidence that a lot of women who are my age or even Generation X are getting diagnosed with ADHD and on the spectrum much later on in life because there was a lot of masking that was involved in a way that a lot of men don't exhibit. Were there any kind of you doing some masking around your disability?
Yeah, definitely. Like every day at school, I was hiding because it was such a pain to actually go there because I had no friends and I had no connections like that. It was just like it was so hard to get there to the point where later on in my high school years, I actually started physically throwing up after breakfast because I was so nervous.
I know this has taken quite a dark turn, really, but I think for me, my father was the reason why I think I liked art the most because he was an architect and he used to sit with me and teach me how to draw houses, and then I would draw a whole bunch of houses, right? And then my mum is super into singing. And so, because of her Filipino influence, singing and music is a huge part of my life. So when I got into the later years of high school and my father had died, I kind of thought to myself, what does friendship mean to me, you know? And what do I expect out of my friends?
Yeah.
Have you had those sorts of thoughts?
I mean, yes, I have. Like, for one instant, I can name an example. I had this really close friend in year 4 at my school. Sometimes for the other kids who didn't like to play in the heat as much, they had like a table out in the playground where they did like coloring in and drawing and stuff like that. And because of my creativity, of course, I wanted to do that. So I asked her to join me, and she said, yeah, I'm sure. And she said, I promise. And well, we got to lunchtime, we got there, and I had looked away for like 5 seconds and then turned back, and she just completely ran off.
What do you think that was about?
I don't know. I thought she was ashamed to be seen with me or something. At that point, I became like, maybe this is not worth it. Like, making friends is not worth it because if you're always going to get hurt, what's the point? So I kept to myself for a long time. And then I realized well, that made me even more lonely. So I'm like, I wish I could just find people that I connected with, just really understood me, but I never did. Even I was in a drama club and I love drama, and you would think the drama kids would accept me, but no, they did not. I was always the one in like a corner and they were in their groups.
Hey guys, it's Susan, cutting myself off on my own podcast. I just want to thank everyone again for their continued support and listenership of Have the Nerve. I'm always striving to bring you experiences that are as diverse as disability is itself. I would love if you can help me out this year. As we're approaching our 5th year of Have the Nerve, I would like your input into topics that would interest you. If it helps, go through the Rolodex of this podcast if you're a new listener to see what has been spoken about. And if you think, wouldn't it be great if you covered... I want to know. So email me at community@scia.org.au. This will be in the show notes with the subject heading Podcast Topic Request. It'll really help me a lot and it will be much appreciated. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. So now that you have graduated from high school, graduated from primary school, we're never looking at those years again. High five to all the people with disabilities who were bullied in high school, including myself.
Yes.
Let's think about what friendships now mean to you as an adult.
I have heaps of really good friends in SLAIRS who are different in their own way and have different tastes and uniques, but we all kind of center around a similar interest. Like, I have one friend who really loves Disney and movies. I really love Disney and movies. So we connect a lot with that. They're also just kind and understanding, and they take time to get to know you.
You said to me in the beginning that you want to work in childcare. Why do you want to work in childcare?
For a few different reasons, actually. I love giving back to like little ones because I reckon it's important at a young age, and they see someone who's different. You can really like shape their mindset. So when they grow, they're probably less to become bullies to that person. The other reason is because, well, I said earlier on, my dream was to like get married and have kids. So I was told from a young age that the possibility of me having kids would be quite dangerous because, obviously in a wheelchair, and 150% chance that child is going to come up with the same disability as me. So I do not want to put that on a little kid, what I went through throughout my life. So I think the reason why I want to work so much in childcare is because just that motherly instinct was always inside me from a young age. And I think I could get that fill without actually having a child of my own.
Do you feel a responsibility as a woman around, the next generation of children? Like if you were to have a child and they had CP and on the spectrum, do you feel a responsibility? How do I say this? Would you be comfortable with that, or?
I'd obviously still love that child no matter what. But from what I went through, the experiences I went through, I wouldn't want to put that on an innocent child. That makes sense.
How about if I were to frame it like this? If you had a child, like myself, for example, I don't have any children yet.
Yeah.
If my child were to come out like into the wide world and have my disabilities, plural, wouldn't you be the best person to be able to raise that child because of your experiences?
Well, I guess so, if you put it like that.
And so then, you wouldn't just be the best person to raise that child. You would be the best person to arm them with as much courage and bravery for the what ifs. What do you reckon?
I have an odd with the idea, but
you're so young anyway. You've got plenty of time.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, do you want me to tell you a story then?
Yeah.
So at SCIA, so 35% or something of our staff have a disability, right? And we have varying degrees of quadriplegia, paraplegia, we've got short stature, we've got a lot of things, right? Mm-hmm. And we have clients and staff members on our staff who have pretty mid-level quadriplegia. So here, but they can't move their hands and they can't move their arms, or when they do, it's very limited, right? And now I feel like I'm just turning this into a don't feel discouraged kind of podcast, because these ladies, they have had just one. They've got 2, 3 children, and I know of one who delivered naturally with quadriplegia. And I think that they didn't think twice about whether or not they could or couldn't do anything. For them, they're at least growing an army of children who are going to be empathetic towards disability, understanding towards somebody else's disability.
I mean, that does give me some hope, but I mean, like, I have many different dreams, and not just children. Like, my other dreams are like, well, I think they're starting to come true slowly. So I like, if that dream didn't come true, it wouldn't be the end. Like, I wouldn't be upset about it, because I have these other ones that I know can come true with a lot of hard work.
Yeah. What are your other dreams?
So my boyfriend, he also has a disability as well. We plan to get married, move into our own house and stuff like that. And you can sort of see it slowly starting to become a reality.
And how does that make you feel?
It made me feel amazing, because I never thought such a thing could happen to me.
Yeah.
Because of my disability and all that. And just to spend the rest of your life with someone who truly understands you. From growing up thinking that no one understands me except my family, no one's going to love me as much as my family does. Because I was always looking for that love and acceptance, and I never got it. And now I've just got it from my friends here, from everyone. It's overwhelming at times.
We are talking about women exchanging knowledge, exchanging, information, doing some reflecting. I know that you felt like there are a lot of things that wouldn't happen for you that are now slowly happening for you, and that's so exciting. Have there been any strong women in your life that have helped you or guided you?
Yeah, definitely my mum and my nan. They're two big, powerful women that their undying love for me, it blows me out of the water sometimes because I'm like, I can be frustrating. I even get frustrated with myself about my disability at times, but they were always there supporting me, and they just want to see me happy and succeed throughout my life. When I was little, I was first born and diagnosed with this disability. I was told to my parents that I'd never be able to even walk in a walking frame or take steps or talk or anything like that. Well, I totally surprised them. My parents would sit down with me every night and read a giant book of nursery rhymes to me from front to bottom. And that's where I got my love of reading. So I would start reading and learning different words, and my vocabulary just increased and increased. And then I started singing. And I remember when I sang my first song when I was like 5 years old. I done it all the way through, and my nan was just so proud of me. For my physical part, every day, because my nan looked after me quite a bit while my mum and dad worked, she would always make like little obstacles in the garden, and she would get me to like walk on a walker, and I would walk up and down her driveway. And yeah, they invested a lot with me. So
Yeah, because it's part of teaching you something for the future, right?
yeah, so I'm very grateful for that. And
Can I ask you a question? Because I have the opportunity to talk to somebody who is much younger than I am. How do you feel about social media as a woman with disability?
Well, at one point to my mental health, it was a detriment because I saw these people leading amazing lives, like traveling and all that. And it kind of made me upset as if I wasn't doing enough. So I did take a break at one point just for that. But I've slowly gotten back into it. I watch TikTok, but mainly like people with disabilities similar to me that are like very limiting in what they can do. And I just find it's refreshing to know that there are other people like me that have stories to tell, and they're really inspiring.
Do you find, okay, so in high school, in primary school, is this when you felt probably the most insecure about yourself when you look at social media?
Probably high school because
High school.
I wasn't the one. You know how kids are like when they hit 13, like to your parents, can I have a phone? Can I have a phone?
Oh, girl, we didn't get mobile phones until I was 16.
Oh yeah.
So, yep.
I was never like that. So my parents actually had to force a phone onto me so they could call me. Yeah. I never found an interest in that. And it's ironic now because now I can't get off the thing.
So when you see other people, do you think that without access to social media now at your age and seeing other people with disabilities, even though you are doing your work at Breakthrough, do you think that you would have as big of an exposure to people who have a similar situation to you?
Yeah, probably not.
Mm.
Because, like, I mean, in Dubbo, I see a lot of people with disabilities at the mall, but they're fairly older. So it's a bit hard to, like, find good role models with disabilities.
So who do you subscribe to, I guess, and like why?
So there's this really good lady on there called Chelsea Hill.
Oh, yes, we all know her.
Yeah, okay.
The Rolettes.
Yes. So her story is just so inspiring, and she even has a kid.
That's right.
And a husband and a house, and she's got a very successful business. So, yeah.
And so what have you learnt from Chelsea?
I've learned to never give up when things are tough, and just to keep pushing forward, that things will eventually fall into place at the right time for you.
So before we had interviewed today, we had a chat about cultural backgrounds, how, different cultures can shape the way people perceive disability. Do you still want to share some stories about yours?
So my mum's South African, so I'm half South African. My dad's Australian. They met in London. There's nothing like the NDIS in South Africa. That doesn't exist. If you really think of it, we are so blessed to live in a country that is provided with great health care, great education, and great support systems for disabled. Been to South Africa twice. Once when I was 1, which wasn't that hard because I was little and they could still carry me and pick me up. But then I went again when I was 8, and it was a bit harder. One of the main things for me, because we stayed with my mum's parents, was bathing. I always need an accessible shower or bath to bath in and get myself ready, because that's the biggest thing for me. What prevents me from actually traveling out. I still crawled at that age, so I would just crawl everywhere. But now, because I walk and I literally can't crawl because it hurts my knees, I don't really think it would be as accessible, and it would probably be a lot harder for me to get around.
Do you want to go traveling?
Yes, definitely.
Where do you want to go?
Paris.
Paris?
Yeah.
The city of love. Okay, then. Okay, girl.
Paris, Italy. My dad was a big traveler when he was younger, so he's inspired me sort of to he used to show me all these pictures of everywhere he went to.
And do you still feel that reservation to travel, or have you found people online that have shown you what it could be like?
I mean, even if I didn't get everywhere, I'd want to go to the 2 main places, which is France and Disney World. Because I have such a strong connection with Disney, I reckon that would be a great place for me to go.
Tell me about it.
So because I grew up not having friends and all that, I would imagine myself with friends. I had imaginary friends, which from the outside looking in, I guess that's what people found weird about me, because I would openly talk to the air at school.
Well, you got to talk to somebody. Sometimes you're the best person to speak to.
Yeah. But I would because I love the Disney movies and all that, it was just my safe space. So I would turn those characters into my best friends and stuff like that. And I would make up stories in my head and stuff like that. Every time I watch a Disney movie or listen to Disney music, it brings me such calmness, because it was always my safe place.
And when you were singing, were they Disney songs?
Mostly. Mostly. My favorite Disney song is probably Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid.
If you get to Disney one day,
yeah,
you're just going to lose it, right?
Yeah, literally. Tears, everything.
Nioka, let's talk about the next generation of women with CP.
Yes.
And on the spectrum.
Yep.
And they probably don't know they have no idea what the path is going to be like for them in primary and high school.
Yeah.
And you're talking to their parents. What do you want them to know?
That it's not going to be a bed of roses. It's going to be hard work. Every step is going to take a lot of grit and resilience and courage. But you can do it. They can do it. And they come out stronger in the end.
Do you feel like you're stronger now?
Yeah, definitely.
How so?
And, I think just what I've been through, I'm more empathetic towards people with different disabilities. I can understand their point of views. I always look at both sides of the story. I don't just pick sides. Yeah, I think it's really made me much more stronger than I anticipated I would be.
Nioka, I just want to thank you very much for being on the podcast today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor.
Oh, no, it's been an honor. Thank you. You've been listening to Have the Nerve, a podcast about disability. My name is Susan Wood. I'm the host, producer, and writer of this program, which wouldn't be possible without the funding from the Department of Social Services as part of our resource hub. If you'd like to visit it, please visit scia.org.au or check the show notes of this podcast. If you like this episode and this show, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button, give Have the Nerve a 5-star review, and share this episode with at least 5 to 10 people that you know of. It will really help the podcast a lot. Once again, thank you for listening.